So Bungie announced Destiny's dying. Fucking sucks. Early on in the channel, one of my more successful failures of a video is titled My Journey to Quitting Destiny. It's not a very good video, and it's honestly just a bunch of rambling. But to sum it up, I had to quit Destiny for quite a while and was missing it one day. So I made a video about my thoughts. I quit during Shadowkeep and came back for Beyond Light. Forsaken, though, had really brought me back. And in comparison, I was purely disappointed with what Shadowkeep had to offer. So I don't want to say or claim that I am the most knowledgeable fan nor the most patient one. But with everyone chiming in, I wanted to give my thoughts on the loss, and I figured I should as well. I've been seeing a reoccurring video pop up about Destiny and its raids, and I related a lot to the experience talked about in the video. I remember on Xbox, me and my brother would LFG into parties and claim we knew how to do the raids, and ended up asking for reminders that became full explanations on how-tos. I do apologize if any of you viewing this were the unfortunate players explaining these things to a 14 and 16-year-old, but I remember it being so much fun. When we finally figured it all out, jumping through the gorgeous landscapes, and this bewilderment, when we were suddenly teleported to the side of Riven, and we took our swords to its sides countless times till we finally won. It was not me, but one of our party members got the 1,000 voices. Inside of his video, I feel like what he nailed very well was what makes Destiny different from other games, that be looter shooters. The game itself fostered a fan base like no other, one that is truly invested by the community, and while I think it's worth it to criticize, it may be slightly due to sunken costs crossed with FOMO. I don't wish to get into that today. I'm more to focus on what Bungie will be losing if they really walk away from the franchise that they invested in so much. By my recollection, Destiny released with a scope too large. They had writers and creators going crazy on the world building, and luckily, they managed an extremely engaging shoot loop system. But it always had a hard time fully satisfying when delivering to its players. I don't want to sugarcoat it, but Destiny was not super consistent in being in a state of bliss. More often than not, it was a game half-baked. But that fault was made up for by the Destiny community, which I believe came about because of the raids. Destiny was always a game made good by the community. If there weren't Discord or LFGs, I doubt the community would have been able to grow in another era. But I do believe Bungie came into clutch when they were needed most. Publishers can be blamed, or the developers, but the state Destiny is in somehow led to the announcement of its ending. Some people believe Marathon is to blame, feeling it replaced Destiny 2's continuation, or Destiny 3. Aztecross even claimed he will refuse to play Marathon if it means Bungie receives his message that him and his community only want Destiny 3. And other creators feel Destiny is ready to die, and Marathon is the future, and that is a good ending in all of this. And I fall somewhere in the middle. I haven't played Final Shape or engaged in the world of Destiny for a while, and don't feel any hope towards the series. I only am playing it today to get footage. Scratch that. It'll take an hour to download. Fuck that. But I have played Marathon as it released, and I do not feel like Marathon is the solution either. But I mainly see three paths Bungie can take. Make Destiny 3 Destiny Classic, just Destiny of some sort, or they expand on Marathon, or there's some third unknown solution. I mean, when it comes to Destiny 3, I still feel fear. I never liked the way Destiny was set up, specifically from a monetization standpoint. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I added up how much I'd spent on the game, I at least cracked $400. Necessary to note, I never purchased one cosmetic from the Eververse. This is all DLC purchases over Destiny 2's lifespan. That never sat well with me. I feel like the dated system. Like every year I wanted to engage with Destiny fully, and in its community, I had to buy Destiny again, and then add in season passes, and that continued to make me more and more pressure to open my wallet in order to have fun. It's not a system that I enjoyed engaging with or feel is fair to customers. Even when in my opinion they overperformed with Forsaken, I recall you received all three parts of that with the Forge, Gambit, and something between. And they felt that was unsustainable, even if I think it revived Destiny after Curse of Osiris. Like, yes, you can do everything and have so many options for activities to do in Destiny. Campaigns, PvP, strikes, raids, and Gambit, but sometimes it's good to switch games. I don't want Destiny to be my one game in the future. Now, if Destiny went the route of Marathon, a couple things would need to change. Their baseline gameplay, it's great, and gunplay is addicting and fun, with shell abilities being fair and making each class feel pretty overpowered. But I 100% got bored after hitting a certain point with the game. Become overpowered, and it starts to feel grindy without a reason. Also, 30-minute matches feel like a crime. I think to have a life outside the game, they should be shorter. But the end game of Marathon is a watered-down Destiny raid. It's hard in its own right, but Marathon as a whole, I do not believe warrants its place in the Steam shop as a purchasable title, and that might be a problem with the extraction shooter genre, but I still think Marathon would have been better off as a multiplayer shooter, sold as just that, instead of making it a competitive extraction shooter. The game would thrive off of a campaign. I just don't really understand what happened with campaigns in games that had multiplayer, but I don't know. I really don't believe Marathon will be enough. I would compare it to Battlefront, that Star Wars game. People were really excited to see Battlefront after so many years, and the first release, it was an only multiplayer game and left many players disappointed. Then with Battlefront 2, they shipped in a broken state, but eventually became what a lot of people would regard as a great game, even if it took time. I think Marathon would have to do Battlefront 2 level changes to Marathon in order to make an engaging enough experience to warrant Marathon being Bungie's mainline title. But I don't really want to wait around for Marathon to become great. It should have shipped that way. And the gaming industry as a whole, releasing unfinished games, where a weak foundation for gameplay and an actually fulfilling value is missing. Sleek graphics and satisfying player interaction within environments do an incredible job at hiding the lack that there is. 2 maps launched with Marathon, a third more interactive one soon after, and a raid style only available on weekends as well. And I mean, when it's actually said out loud, there's not a ton to do in this game. If anything, it is artificially engaging a community to unlock content, making it feel like there is more there than there is actually. I think games used to be hubs where you could engage with sandboxes in many different ways. Halo used to ship with a great campaign, including modifiers, competitive and casual multiplayer, and on top of all of that, they had Forge and Firefight. This is a game that I could play and actually exist in. I don't think all games need to be this way. Fortnite, I think, is the extreme of this, for a game becoming a hub, but Marathon is set out to be a competitive extraction shooter. This is a gamble on a game style that's not as popular from the start and is already a dominated genre. Rainbow Six Siege is a competitive shooter, supplying a unique gameplay type. That is why it remains relevant. It had something different it wanted to try. Marathon does not. I feel like I'm hating a little bit too much on Marathon at the moment, but I just do not feel like it deserves to replace Destiny. And honestly, I set out in this video to explore the different routes Bungie can take coming off of the death of Destiny. Back to Destiny itself, I think Destiny fundamentally has something going for it. Space wizards and alien factions makes for an incredible world to explore, but the fundamental gameplay, aside from the raids, has lacked substance all too long. You can break up Destiny's gameplay down to find the objectives, place Ghost on objective, and defend Ghost for a set amount of time at the objective. With Destiny's gameplay, this can still be quite addicting, but it is lazy, and it sucks because it reflects on Bungie and how lazy they are. There was not a new species until the final shape since Taken King. The Fallen variations do not count, or the Red Legion. Yes, they reworked and added factions to species, but that is not the same as implementing a fully new species which interacts differently. It is simply a reskin with 1 or 2 added attacks or mechanics. For Bungie to continue with Destiny, this would need to change. More engaging puzzles or gameplay would be necessary. I never realized how boring Destiny's gameplay loop was until I played with a friend. He hadn't played the game in years, and I had convinced him to come back. He was having fun, but as we made our way through the strikes, he simply mentioned, "Feels like I'm doing the same thing over and over, fighting a wave of enemies and moving to another area." And shit, that is pretty accurate for 80% of Destiny. I mean, I think Crucible is pretty fun. Felt smooth when I used to play it, but the campaigns just feel like glorified power trips when they are fun, and time-wasting slogs in other moments. So continuing with Destiny, I think it would need to involve real change to convince me to invest my time, and remove the damn system of yearly paid DLC. Destiny shouldn't be breaking more than 200 from players' wallets without purchasing cosmetics. But I don't know where Bungie is headed now that Destiny is dead. Also talk about Sony and how much they lost seems to be floating around, but I don't care a whole ton. It sucks to see a game beloved to many die. But did the community ever feel like Destiny was a complete game? I would argue it always was close, becoming something great, but never did.